Woohoo! I'm Doug Bell, and this is the Hot Rod Show. We have a packed show for you tonight. We got this and that and that and this and that. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Check this out. Also on the show tonight, we go down to Picton and see a 1962 Riva. We're out and about with the Auckland Hot Rod Club's poker run. Doug and Ken interview the organiser of the Henderson Hot Rod Show. Also, we have a Kiwi Span shed visit, and Doug checks out two-wheeled hot rods. Hey, check this out. No, we're not flying. Put your arm out the side. Fly, 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 fly. Up, down, up. See, so we're not in an aeroplane. We're in a Morgan three-wheeler, and you're not flying.
No.
Anyway, we're going to start to learn a little bit about this Morgan three-wheeler. This belongs to Alan, and what do you think of it? We told you there's going to be something crazy on the show tonight, so you know, and this is what it is.
Tell us a little. The 1933.
1933, correct? Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about
Doug likes the horn. Well, I've had it for 5 years, restored in Canada.
Yep.
And comes with a trailer. And Morgan first made these in 1909. And they were made to have the same road tax as a motorbike. And that got people on the road. And if it weighed less than 500 kilograms, away you go.
Well, it doesn't now.
It doesn't now.
It weighs a bit more, Doug, on board, I think.
kilograms.
Yep. So no doors, matchless engine out the front, essentially a motorbike engine. And three forward gears in reverse.
But hey, it'd be cool, like at night with the heat, you know, like off the engine, warm your feet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, warms everything, Doug.
Oh,
warms
really?
everything, yes.
Oh, wow. I wonder what is a lump in where I'm sitting.
Yeah, that's right. And if you want to know what's going on, you just look down the side, you can see the suspension, you can see the engine, it's all there.
I know, it's neat, eh? It's like in an open, like a T-buck and stuff. Everything's exposed, you can see what's going on.
No hidden secrets here,
No.
don't lift the bonnet, it's all there to see.
You were saying that they've started making them again.
They had
Morgan.
5 years ago, Morgan started making them. And they're a 2-litre, a bit different to this, and they made 1400.
But it's very similar.
It's the same shape as this.
Yeah.
Yep. After 60 years, they started making them. Never believed it.
Wow.
This is beautiful, eh? I mean, you know, it don't matter what sort of variation of cars you're into.
Yeah.
A car like this is something that everyone can appreciate.
It's pretty
you know,
special. It appeals to all people, old and young. And
There's a bit of a story about this, but we'll get out first. Me first?
Yeah, you first. You always go first.
That'll make some room.
Right, now let's see this.
Here we go.
Can we get a close-up?
Oh, look at this. Oh, this man's on.
Ta-da!
Well, that was a lot easier than I was hoping.
Yes, it is too. It is too.
Wow, that's the M doesn't stand for Morgan. It stands for matchless, by the way.
Correct.
So the story behind this particular Morgan, where it came from, and
Yeah, well, they're made in
Origin.
England, obviously. Spent life in Canada, and a man there spent 10 years restoring it, and shipped out to New Zealand in 2004.
Wow.
And at that stage, it didn't have an electric starter, so you had to crank it. And the man out here put electric starter on, and that's really good.
Yeah.
But you can crank them, it starts really easily, so...
So 2004, you've owned it since then, or?
2000. Yeah,
Oh,
I've had it 5 years. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So people ask me if I've restored it, but that's too big a job for me.
Yeah.
It'll never happen.
It's a pretty cool little windscreen wiper motor, isn't it?
That is. That's a vacuum one.
Yeah.
And you have to work by hand occasionally, but that's okay. Like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Made by
one of the
Lucas.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, like they're no good for going up hills, are they?
No.
Coming down hills, you get
No, the car goes up hills all right, but not with
Yeah.
the wiper gun.
The gas tank, right?
Yes.
How many gallons?
Holds about 17 litres, about
Okay.
4 gallons.
Yeah, and no, that's the
That's
radiator.
oil.
Oil.
That's oil.
Wow.
Yes. Runs a dry
And
sump.
So the water's there, yeah.
And then that's actually a gauge.
Yes,
If
that's
we can
called
get
a
the
motor
camera in
meter.
and have a look at that gauge.
That's called a motor meter, that, and it tells you how hot the engine is. Because you don't have a fan or a water pump,
Yep.
so you don't sit in traffic very long.
Oh, really?
It's thermosiphon,
Okay.
so if it gets really hot, you're out of there.
Yeah, wow.
Can we pop the boot, because there is a boot.
Oh, well, that's not
And
probably
this
what
one-
I'd call a boot. But
This
there
is a boot that Doug definitely won't be able to get in this time,
Yeah.
eh, Doug?
I don't think we'll be putting Doug in here today.
No,
Oh, well.
no.
And under there is the rear wheel. And normally people say, is that the spare wheel? And I say, no, that's what drives the car.
Wow,
And
here's the chain down
chain
there.
drive.
And I was talking to you earlier, and you were saying how in 1934, was it, they brought out a four-seater?
Yes, 1934 they brought out what's called the F-type. And the F-type's, the F stood for family, and that was a four-seater.
So was it same width, just longer?
It got a bit wider. It was a bit wider and came to the back a bit wider as well.
It's all wooden body frame.
Yes, wooden
So-
frame on a pipe chassis.
On a pipe chassis,
Pipe chassis.
just like
Yes,
sort of
yes.
pipe that you'd make not the same, but you'd make a gate out of, sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, maybe a little bit stronger than that,
Yeah,
Doug, but
yeah.
Essentially a pipe.
Yeah.
It's not a Z
Yeah,
chassis.
if there's any
That's
gates missing in your street, there's going to be a couple of Morgan three-wheelers coming on the scene, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have a look at a little bit more inside the car now. We're going to look at the dashboard and the aluminium. If you notice the pattern they have on there, a lot of people get that by putting a cork on the end of a drill bit and a little bit of grinding paste or something, and just methodically going over the whole dashboard, in a grid pattern and getting that beautiful look there. The two levers, throttle.
Yes, that's the accelerator on the right. There's no foot accelerator, so that's it there. One of those is spark advance.
Yes.
And the other one's choke.
Okay.
And
yeah.
it's important that you keep... Oh, that's right. It's important that you retard the spark before you start it, otherwise it can kick back, and if you're on the crank handle, that can be serious.
You break your thumbs,
Exactly.
eh?
Exactly.
Could we start it up? Just have a little listen, because
I think we
there's a whole
yes,
bunch of stuff going on in the
There's
front
a ritual
here.
for that. You've got to flood the carburetor first.
Okay, they just hold the little button down, or you pump
Just
it,
hold the
or-
button down. No, that's all you've got to do. And if we go around here and a bit of throttle, make sure it's out of gear, otherwise it'll run you down.
So, how about that? So, like Matchless, if for people who don't know, Matchless used to make motorbikes as well. So this is essentially a motorbike with three wheels, and but it's just beautiful.
Yeah, correct. It's called the Tri.
The Tri,
That's it,
yeah.
meaning three wheels. Yeah.
Wow, it's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Alan,
Okay.
thank you so much for
Thank you,
bringing
Doug.
this little gem on the show.
Nice to be here.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woohoo! Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the Hot Rod Show, but we're down in Picton and we're here with Scott. And Scott, we have a beautiful boat here with you, don't we?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's a 1962 Riva Tritoni.
Yeah. And so, Scott, where was this boat built?
It was built in Italy. and
Italy?
it's one of 17 built in the world.
Wow, 17.
Yeah.
Well, like Scott, this is. I mean, I've seen pictures of this style boat before in my life many times in magazines, but you never really appreciate it until you get up close,
No,
and actually see the thing in real life to really appreciate it.
It's very true. You see a lot of them on James Bond movies.
Yeah.
And, in the,
This hasn't been on a James Bond movie,
Not as far as I know. I presume
No.
it probably would have. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
so it's got two engines.
Yeah, two V8. So it's 540 horsepower.
Each
V8.
Each
no,
V8.
Each V8 is 270 horsepower.
Right.
So it's 540.
Okay. And I noticed there on the dashboard also you got two keys, so one key for each engine.
One key for each engine, yes, and one control for each engine. One gear lever
Yeah.
and one
So
accelerator.
is
each as
a lever,
well.
lever on each side of the steering wheel there, so one's the left, one's the right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. So
Wow.
It's quite manoeuvrable. You can turn it quite easily.
So you've driven it many times?
Yes, I try and run it at least once a month. Quite often more.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks.
Like the colour of the upholstery, that turquoise green, and the white tuck and roll, that is just, that is... I can't really find the words to describe this because it's just so beautiful, just like all the chrome, extras and that are plonked on, and you got your badges here like they have on Buicks.
Yeah.
It's just stunning,
It's all original, so all the upholstery's original, all the
Really?
colours original. There's nothing I can do to it without the owner's permission.
Yes.
Which will go back to Italy, where we phone them or email them.
Okay. So like you got the hood on there, so is that an easy thing to the roof to put up and put down?
Yeah, it's got a hood that comes up, and it's actually seats fold down so you can sleep in it. It's got a toilet, and it's got beds in the front as well.
I thought was the toilet up front.
There's a portable toilet that goes into it, yeah. So it's
Wow.
and it also has a sun deck which goes on the back. So he's got squabs which you can use as a sun deck.
This is a pretty exciting boat.
Yeah, it is. It's just really special.
So is this the only one in New Zealand, like with so few made, it's the only one in the country?
It's the only one in New Zealand that's a Riva. I think there's copies called a Chris Craft,
Okay,
or
yeah.
Chris Craft is a very similar boat.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Here we are watching the cars roll in at the Auckland Hot Rod Club's poker run. Ladies and gentlemen, this still is the Hot Rod Show, and here today we have Greg, and we've got Ken, and we've got Ian. Now, just to give you a little bit of information, Greg here is running a Hot Rod Show in Henderson next month. Ian here, he owns this beautiful gold-coloured pickup.
So, Greg, what's...
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Doug. It's the 2015 Mount Shop Rod and Custom Autorama, and it's based at the Teapai Centre in Teapai Place, Henderson. And it's a show that we've got 70 cars, 70 hot rods, street machines, muscle cars, classic muscle cars.
You got a rat rod or two?
We haven't got rat rods, we've got traditional hot rods. Yeah. That actually leads us to a good point. Nanotech car cleaning specialists have sponsored the club Spotlight, which is the Scroungers car club, and they've put forward 5 of their best traditional cars like Mike Roberts pickup and Colin Crook's 32 coupe and things like that.
So they've got a display area going on in there as well, have they?
And that's one of the display areas. What we've tried to do is it's an enthusiast type show to reflect the best quality cars that New Zealand has to offer. So probably the granddaddy centerpiece of the show is the Panhead Custom Ales Builder of the Year Award, which is celebrating the work of John Reed of Rods by Reed in Tauranga. So for the first time in his career, we've got a collection of Rods by Reed built cars all being displayed in one area. The concept for the show came about because I'd always wanted to do a high-end rod and custom show. My wife, Rebecca, she's in remission from cancer. She wanted to do something to support the Cancer Society, you know? So there's a real feel-good thing there because there's a lot of people we all know that have suffered that, and some have been lucky and some haven't, you know? So she wanted to put something back to the Cancer Society. I wanted to put on a really good rod and custom show. So I pitched the idea to the Mount Shop. They loved the idea. They loved the concept of the show. They loved the concept of the charity and that kind of thing. So with them on board, I then went forward and started to put the show together. The next ingredient was a draw card. The draw card being the Rods by Reed Builder of the Year display. And once JR was on board, then I thought, well, let's do this. We're serious now. So a lot of sponsors have come on board. We've got Protector Insurance, Mothers, Polishers.
Yeah. That's these guys here, Protector and Mothers. They're our sponsors too. They're really good folk. Greg's got a beautiful yellow 32 Ford Roadster that everyone in the hot rod community knows, and we'll show you a little bit about it.
Greg, you were talking earlier about your car. Can you run over a few things about it? Like, geez, those are not bad wheels, those, eh?
Yeah, well, those are 15 by 4.5 Halibrands, and I thought that was pretty integral into getting the right look of this car. You know, the car's got a lot of rake on it, and it's got a 5-inch dropped Magnum I-beam axle.
Okay, so that's for those unknown about that. That's that part there,
The
and
drop bit there,
yeah, and these look like Buick, are they?
Those are Buick fin drums on early Ford hydraulic backing plates.
Oh, okay, so it's pretty.
Common to what they did in the 50s through
Yep.
the 70s, you know. And I just like the look of that. It's got the hairpin radius rods, the stainless
Yep.
radius rods there.
That's quite cool.
I was pretty particular about the style of the car and getting those ingredients to achieve the look, you know.
And what's the story with those headlights aren't off this model of car, are they? What are they?
Pretty close. They're
Are they?
33 Ford commercial headlights. And the whole thing with this car, when you look at it front on, it's got the small, skinny tyres, low rake, and then these big headlights, you know. So it's got some proportions going on that are quite distinctive to give it that look, you know.
Right, yeah, we're getting on to Yo's truck now, or Ian's truck, sorry. And we're going to talk about this truck. It's pretty cool. We've finished with Greg. Yeah, it was quite short. But anyway, that's film work. So, Yo, tell us about your truck, mate.
Well, yeah, well, basically, as I said before, I've owned it for a few years. I enjoy it. It's got a 47 Merc flathead engine in it with a 653 blower with a 600 Holly on the top. A 4-speed Muncie, a 9-inch Ford diff. Basically, that's it. As far as that, you know, it's pretty basic. Goes good. I enjoy driving it.
Yeah, well, most hot rods are a passion towards driving on the street. If you can get them driving right, you just take them up the road. Should be sweet, eh?
I mean, I have got a couple of other cars, but this is my little favourite, and that's, you know, I enjoy it. As I keep saying, I do.
Well, it's a truck.
It's a truck.
The interior of this, it's all pretty stock, isn't it, really?
Yeah, pretty stock, just painted up. Basic interior.
It's pretty cool though, eh? You know, to see it all traditional like that, eh? You know, it's sort of a driver's vehicle. Now we're at this young fella's garage, checking out what we find in these garages, and here we go. Introduce yourself, sir.
Oh,
TV.
yeah, g'day Ken, my name's Adam, and this is my shop.
Oh, good, mate. And what are we about to see in your shop here, bud?
It's my Nissan Skyline. It's originally a Pro Import drag car, but now we run Top Street with a blind alcohol Nissan V8.
So let's go and let's have a look at this car. It's a pretty amazing car, and I've seen this thing run, eh? And it's pretty cool.
You know, it gets it done, eh? So you've got a Nissan 4.5 litre V8. It's quad cam. It's a production motor. Comes out in the big Nissan luxury cars.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they used to be quite common, but they're getting thinner on the ground these days.
How many litres is that this thing here taken out to now?
This one's 4.5. We have another motor too, and that's a 5.4 litre.
And the blower on the top of that?
It's a 1471 Littlefield.
So most of this is stuff being built in-house, is it?
Pretty much, mate. Yeah, like pretty much anything we could build, we did. Primarily to save money, and we could just, because of what it is, you can't buy stuff off the shelf for the drag racing application. So we just had to make it.
For those that sort of the tricky guys that want to know all the stuff, is it overdriven or underdriven?
It's 20% underdriven at the moment, and at that stage we're about 25 pounds a boost.
Well, do you want to check us out the interior of this? A lot of people would be interested in checking this out. Well, that's a handy way to work on cars. Just rip the door off, should be right.
So we just got a 2-speed power glide, so just fast and faster. And so yeah, we've got obviously the gear shifter, and we have a manual brake for the rear calipers only to help in staging the car so you don't roll through the beams. And that's our line lock control for the trans for the launching.
People seem to think that it's an expensive sport, but it's not really, is it? Once you've got the basics, it's sort of just mucking around, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like any sport. The faster you want to go, the more money it costs. But the drag racing does have a lot of really good entry-level classes, especially with the Drag Wars series on the Friday nights. I mean, that's how I started racing my Capri. And we just got to a point where we wanted to go faster, so we designed and built this.
Okay, so how long has it taken you to build?
It was about a 3-year project to get it all said and done. It started off as a pile of chromoly tubing on the floor, and my dad Frank designed and sort of constructed the whole car essentially. We built all the body ourselves in-house. And
Thanks for the tour of your garage and car. It's pretty good. I reckon a lot of people will look at this thing and follow you this coming season, and good luck with that, eh?
excellent. Well, thank you very much, Ken. Cheers.
Okay, thanks.
We sent our own bearded bikie over to check out Auckland HarleyDavidson to talk to Greg Pratt to find out what they do.
Well, this is our workshop. This is where most of the action happens for in terms of the hotting up of bikes, the repairs of bikes, the servicing, your day-to-day behind-the-scene magic that really get all our bikes onto the showroom floor. These are the guys that tune our drag bikes to get through to the finals and take home some trophies. Nobody does it better than these guys. They're highly trained and very passionate about Harley-Davidson and all motorcycles in general, really. As you can see, the boys work on anything from imported hardtails, homemade choppers, your genuine Harleys that was pulled down to do a lot of custom work to just your simple oil change, keeping people rolling on the road doing the Ks they want to do. So yeah, it's really a one-stop shop. There's nothing that we can't do. This is the accessories department. Everything that you could possibly imagine is in here, or we can get it for you. A lot of women's apparel. The women rider section is forever growing. It's the fastest growing side of our shop. And yeah, leather jackets, boots, cigarette lighters, beer cups, anything. We do everything in here.
Hey Doug,
Hey, Braden, how you doing?
Good.
What you got there?
Brazilian wax.
Brazilian wax.
Not that type of wax, read the label.
Oh, Mother's California Gold Ultimate Pure Brazilian Carnauba wax.
What does it do?
Well, it doesn't take the hair off your car, so I guess it's got to polish your car. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, well, a car like this can't come from anywhere else but West Auckland. So, I'm just going to hand you over to Braden and Dora now, and they'll tell you all the technical details of this monster that's in here.
Hey Doran, thanks for coming.
Hey, Brian, how you going?
Good. So you brought your Plymouth Barracuda
Yes.
along?
Yep.
And 496?
496.
440.
It's 440 stroked with a Hemi crank in it. Indie heads. Yep.
And what's your, you've got a bit of a drag racing background?
Yep.
Tell us a bit about that.
Full-on drag racing. I've been doing it for 5 years now. Last year we done our first full season and we won the National Series and the Trek Series. And this year we came second in both because we blew our motor up, but we're still very happy.
Yeah, so what's the fastest time you've done?
9.7 at 138 mile an hour. Yep.
That is quick.
Great, yep.
So if we go around, we can see the, have a look at the interior and
Yes.
can give our viewers a bit of a rundown on how everything works, Doran.
Not a problem. Okay, basically you have the instrument panel there. That's for turning everything on, like your trans brake, your fans, your fuel pump, your rev counter, very important, and your gauges and steering wheel, and of course your accelerator pedal. That's all you need.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Why is the steering wheel off at the moment?
Because
So you don't steal it.
I need to lose some weight.
You need to lose some
Yes.
weight. I tell you what, if you make a TV show, you'll get so nervous, you won't eat, and you'll lose some weight.
So you were telling me something about the rear tyres here before.
Yeah, it's
Doran.
the car's from Kentucky. It was a 10.5 Outlaw car. Big cars on small tyres is the in thing to do at the moment. It's just starting to take off in New Zealand, so
Yep.
we're going to have a go.
How long have you owned the Barracuda for?
5 years now.
Oh, yep. So it's been in your whole drag racing career.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's been a bit of evolution for us.
Yep.
and yeah, it's been awesome. Yep.
Awesome. So this sticker here is for the
That's for the Miri Trek Series.
Yep.
Last year's. And
obviously number one in that.
number one, yes.
And then we got
Yes.
the big one at the back,
Yep,
which is for the NZ National Series.
that's right. And of course we got the Kendall Oil sign there, who proudly sponsor us and
Oh, awesome.
keep it all going really
Keep the
good.
motor going?
Yes.
Cool. Can't go very far without oil, eh?
Exactly.
Doug can.
Well, that's sweet, man.
Awesome.
I've seen this at the drags many times, eh? It just you do wheel stands in that.
Just do wheel stands, yep.
What's the highest you've has anyone ever told you that how high, you know?
The highest has probably been close to a metre.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. What's it like?
To tell you the truth, you don't notice it.
Yeah.
No.
Because like it's all in a few seconds
It's
anyway.
all in a few
You're at the
seconds.
end.
Yes.
What, have you been able to raise it up? You know, like when you go through the next gear, lift it up again.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Would like to.
There's a like in August. There's an event coming up called Mother's Chrome down at Hampton Downs. There, they've got a power skid. You know,
Yes.
Man, it'd be good to take this, put some street tyres on that,
definitely.
and go in this.
Yep.
We've actually got a good, we're actually getting a clip of you doing a burnout that's going to be shown on the segment. And so the 496 is producing how much is
Approximately 800. Yep.
And pull a stump out.
Yes. Yep. No, it's awesome. It's a great car. It's served us really well. Eric from West Auckland, great guy, real helpful.
That's Haggis.
Yes, that's him. That's him. Yes, no, he's awesome. Highly recommend him to any Mopar fans out there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, eh?
Yes, he does. Top advice. Yeah.
So how long have you had this particular motor for? Because you said it got rebuilt.
Yes, we
So how
bought
long's
the
this one
motor in from
been?
the States, and my first meeting I bent 8 valves. We pulled it apart and found out it was basically a pile of parts. So it was a good lesson for anyone out there that buys a crate motor. You're buying parts, you're not buying a going concern.
Yep.
And, so we got it rebuilt by Eric and the boys, and they found heaps of things wrong.
Yep.
And sorted it out.
The carburetors, like what size?
They're 650s on 850 plates.
Okay.
They've got machine spindles for more flow.
How much gas would you go through in a quarter mile? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, about 6.5 litres.
6.5 litres in a quarter of a mile, but that's starting up and then you know, but
That's
yeah,
doing your skid.
the whole thing.
Yep.
But there's still quite a bit of gas going through there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
wow, and
definitely.
because like you, it's not just pump gas that you're using.
No, we're using avgas, which is 105 plus.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
I almost get that out of my still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
I think.
good.
Yeah.
Next season we're going to put a bigger motor in it.
What are you putting in?
We're putting a Keith Black Hemi in there.
Yeah, Keith Black, it's a name that goes back quite a few years.
Yes.
Are you importing the motor or?
I've got the motor at home. It's in my lounge at the moment.
Oh,
so
okay.
I sit there every night looking at it.
Do you get excited looking at it?
Oh, it's better than TV.
Yeah, I would be, eh? Yeah, wow. I used to have my my flathead sitting in the lounge for quite some time, and it's really cool having an engine sitting there. It is. Yeah. Well, before Doran takes his car off the set, we've got to have him started up here because we want everyone to appreciate the vibes and the sound that come from this. This is just pure. Men and women will understand that. It's just a whole lot of going on. It's pretty. Doran, can you excite the heck out of us, please?
Yep, can do that.
Thanks. I guess you put the steering wheel on just in case it lurches off.
Just in case. Gotta be safe.
Okay, well, here's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We told you we're going to have a lot of interesting stuff in the show tonight, and we certainly have had a lot of interesting stuff. Well, Alan, it's time to say goodbye to you, and thank you for bringing your Morgan three-wheeler. And here's a little bottle of Mother's Polish to get it. It's pretty hard to get this thing any more shiny than what it is.
That'll be very useful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Braden?
And thanks, Doran and Graham. Thank you for coming. Keep your car nice and clean. And we'll see you next week.
Start your engines!